Welcome back to Comic Book Cafe, and this time around we're reviewing Flash Volume 4, Annual Number 4, which was written by, again, Robert Venditti, Van Jensen. The art's done by Bong Davo and Norm Rapmund. So this is a continuation of Flash 42, the recent Flash comic book, of Professor Zoom, except in this case he's building an army to hunt down the Flash. And how he builds his army is he goes through time and finds people who have abilities like him in the Flash, who've been hit by the strange lightning and powers and have been given powers, different versions of the powers, like not all speed, each one's different. So we see, was it Eobard Thawne, as the name is. We start off in the Aztec era, in the 1500s. A girl where people are being, being hunted, that they kind of call her a god, but she's not. The Fountain of Youth, which is what Thawne was really looking for, the Fountain of Youth, and there's no Fountain of Youth, but she can make people young or old. That's her power. Her power with, again, the lightning that they've all been kind of struck with. That's the theme through this book. And a book. So he says, I'll save you and get rid of these people if you make me young. Because he's really old, and she makes him young, and he destroys the Aztecs. They're hunting her down, or the people are hunting her down. Not the Aztecs, but the people are hunting her down. And she agrees to go with him, to follow him, to stop the evil he calls the Flash. So then we move on again to another time. At this point, we are in like almost like, I believe it's like the 1800s, and his name is Xolani, and he steals diamonds from the mine that really belonged to his tribe, but the people are digging it up, and he steals them and takes them and hides them, and he goes to hide them because his ability is like to get in and out of places and stuff. He goes to hide them, and somehow a diamond's left with his wife. If she killed one, can't be that bad. And as he's hiding them, of course, Professor Zoom and the girl who just found are both confront him, saying, "Hey, you got a special ability like us. Why don't you come with us?" And then all of a sudden you see smoke in his village, and Dawn's like, "Don't go there." Professor Zoom, he goes there, sees the whole village has been wiped out, and so he agrees to go with him. So now he's got two members of his army, and then we go to the Western times. And this is the weird one, this girl, because they don't call her by a name. They call her Human Block, or H-Block in the book. When they do testing, the army fights together to take down the Flash in simulation. So you don't really know her real name. She's just called Human Block or H-Block in the book. And basically, here's the funny thing. So her job in the Western time is, the old Carney jobs, where a guy announcer would talk, and she is the act, and her act is getting somebody to try to move her. She's like unmovable and unstoppable, and guys want to stop her and try to hit her or whatever to take her down, and they can't do it. And her ability is that she can slow down her atoms and stuff and make her virtually really hard to take down, really hard to punch, take down. She's really strong, or doing that makes her really hard to be taken down, to be stopped. And this big guy comes up to take her out, and it doesn't happen, and the guy pulls a gun on her, and she avoids it, and they're like, "Oh, she's a freak." And that's when, of course, Professor Zuma's people come in, and they take her away and tell her, "Hey, you want to join us? We're going to take out this big evil, the Flash." And she's like, we'll be considered gods because of our powers and what we have, because we've all been picked by this, strange lightning. And so she agrees to go. And then we get the last member of the team, this army, a kid. And you come upon a tornado destroying this town, blue tornado, and you see them, and Zoom's like, this kid has got the powers, I can tell. And so Human Block goes to stop from spinning, and they stop from spinning, and he's like, oh my gosh, I destroyed everything again. they said that this wouldn't happen. That, you know, destroyed whatever home he's living at and all this other stuff, because he's been out of, I guess, homes because of this power, and they try to medicate him. You know, and Zoom's like, no, you got a power like us. Come with us. Teach how to use it instead of, you know, being medicated, and then it just happens. So he goes with them, and now the army is formed. This is a great, you know, just showing you how he gets all the people and their time periods they're from and their situations, because each of the situations are different, and so each have different powers. And then we get to present day, at the end, near the end of this book, and was it Selkirk is there, and there's, we'll get to him in a second. So you see these guys all fighting as a team, or fighting to take down Professor Zoom because of assimilation. And all use their powers together, and eventually they get Professor Zoom. And of course, the lady who can take youth or make them older makes them older for a little bit. And then after it's over, she makes them, I guess, young again, or it's just assimilation. And so, you know, he's like, we're really close to the Flash. And like, why don't we just take him down now? And he's like, no, 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 no. We got to show the people that he's the greatest evil. We got to show them, not just take him down because they consider him a hero, but we got to show them how evil he really is. And they're showing, like, I guess they're looking at stuff from Selkirk, and when people go, why do we have Selkirk? He's just siphoned Flash's powers. He's not really been chosen by, you know, the strange lightning or energy. It says we can learn from it. And then the coolest thing is the end of this book, where you see how Professor Zoom had actually set up each individual person and each individual time he met them where they had to go with them. He set up the girl by telling in the Aztec area, by telling them, hey, where she is. He set up the village guy by actually putting that diamond in the bed with his wife and him that he didn't know was there, and then telling the people about the diamonds, and they found it, burned the village down for him to go with him. He set up the human black girl by setting up the last guy that comes up and eventually, you know, shoot at her and everything else. He sets up the kid Roscoe by taking away his medication and stuff and that causes powers that then happen. So he set up everybody to come with him. Again, evil intentions, obviously. And so now, Flash 43, we get Flash going to get to take, this army's going to take on the Flash. It was a really good annual building up all these characters. You're like, oh, look at all these different people from different times. You're like, why would these people join his army? And you find out there was just a lot of circumstances that Professor Zoom made for them to join him. That he had caused things where they would join him because there was nothing else for them all to do. A really good annual. It was actually like almost like another issue, like 42 and a half, to go between 42 and 43, because it was one big issue that explained like how he got all this army, and now we get to see them all going forward. And now the question will be, for me, in my mind, who of these people are actually not bad but will eventually turn good? Because, again, he manipulated all these people to come with him. He manipulated them thinking the Flash is evil. What's going to happen when the battle pursues and when they actually find out he's not evil? But it was a really good book. You didn't really need to know any of past issues to read this annual. This was a self-contained story showing how Professor Zoom got his army to take on the Flash. So you really didn't need to read any past issue. I mean, you don't really know his motivations in this issue. Like Zoom, why does he want to take out the Flash? But all the other characters are new, and you don't really need to know anything to enjoy this book. It was an enjoyable book for me, reading about all the people who are going to take on Barry Allen in issue 43. So, again, if annuals are an interesting thing, because either they have really good stories or the stories are kind of pointless. In this case, the story is really good, and it is interesting that we still do annuals. I've always enjoyed reading them, but it is interesting the annuals still happen due to the fact that I don't know if the argument can be made. You know, I like the old annuals, honestly, where there was a big story arc between a bunch of them. But this is a cool one because I like this annual because it sets up the future issue. And I think if more annuals were to do this, where it goes into a story setting up future issues of the regular series, that would be a good thing instead of sometimes the annuals being a bunch of mini stories or whatever they are. Anyway, guys, what do you guys think of Flash Volume 4 Annual 4? It was a good read if you're a Flash fan, or you want to read a continuum of like new enemies coming to a book, then this might be your kind of book. Anyway, guys, Thanks for watching, and I'll review another comic book soon.